So there's a lot of improvement. We put internet in all the secondary schools. So it can go on and on. A university, I built a university college campus in a place called Ibariam from the scratch, cutting the forest. I built a teaching hospital from the fastest teaching hospital ever built in Nigeria was built under my tenure in 2 years from the scratch.
You know, I just want to tell you, I'm with my friend here, Governor Peter Obi. We're in DC. We came in for the National Prayer Breakfast. But you see, I listened to this man. I listened to Governor Peter Obi. And, you know, ex-Governor Peter Obi, the plans, the ideas, you know, this man raised the bar of leadership in Nigeria. He raised the bar of leadership in Nigeria. Since he left office, can you believe that this man does not take anything, not even like a penny from the Anambra State government? And while he was there, you know, he was a man that built up Anambra State. You know, Anambra State used to be almost educationally disadvantaged. And then in less than 2 years, he brought them to be #1. He left that state with a reserve. Look, you know, we need people like this. I'm so proud of Governor Obi. I listened to him today and, you know, I was taught, like, do we have fellows like this in Nigeria? I'm very proud of this man. Look at everything that he has touched. He made money for himself in the private sector. He made money for Anambra State in government. Anambra State doesn't borrow money. Are you aware of that? These bailout funds that the current administration is giving states, Anambra State, I mean, he left enough for Anambra State. I'm very proud of this man. You know, Governor B, please just say something to my followers, to my fans.
Well, thank you, all of you. All I'm saying is that we have no other country except Nigeria. We must work hard to build it. We must build it. It's our country. We cannot bequeath our children and those coming after us anarchy. We will bequeath them a better country.
Now you heard it. God bless you. Talk to you guys later.
Good evening, everyone. Today is 26th day of May 2024, being Sunday. This video is all about debunking the narratives of some persons who are on the payment list of the federal government led by Bola Ahmed Tinubu, just to tarnish the image of Mr. Peter Obi. No matter what you do against an innocent person, the truth will always outlive you. So I'm trying to study, you know, the character of Mr. Peter Obi, in which he always tried to keep quiet, ignoring everyone that is criticizing him. How I wish I can have that kind of attitude or that kind of character. But I am not patient enough for such people. But I like the way Mr. Peter Obi normally responds to his critics or those who are accusing him falsely. First of all, he don't officially respond to them. Maybe if he's having an interview with someone and you ask him a question like that is just, you know, a way he can just expose some of the things he did. So in this video, there are a lot of people who have been asking questions about Peter Obi's achievement when he was governor of Anambra State. I can tell you this, there is no man in Nigeria, no politician that has ever done this. Listen.
I actually built a lot of, they said building schools. I don't know whether building schools or building infrastructures in school. I don't know what they actually want. If you look at what I've done, I've actually built a lot of schools. But I don't need to answer that. If they read my manifesto, before I became governor, Anambra State was very low in education. In fact, schools were closed for 2 years. People did not go to school. We were low in rating. And while I was there, when I came, if you read my manifesto, what I told you now was areas where I said I'm going to deal with. And we moved from 20-something in number to #1. Go and get, even today, go and get even cutoff point. Anambra is the highest. We're #1 to today. You know,
maybe what were the specific what reforms that you implemented to achieve that you think that can?
I don't know. I wish any of you are from Anambra State. I wish you are. So you call your town and I'll tell you what I did in your town in education. All the schools, we have about 500 secondary schools. Let me start with secondary schools.
Okay.
All the 500 secondary schools had what I can call were computerized. We had buses. We had support in terms of teachers. We had generators to make sure they have light. Those who needed boreholes, we give them boreholes. There's nothing, I don't know how I will start to tell you them. I visited all of them at least twice, physically. Look at the infrastructures. Look at what is happening with them. Ensure that they have things that is required for learning. And that's, I can go on and on. No school, as at the time, maybe it's happening now, no state, I can say categorically in Nigeria, where you were able to equip the schools the way we did. No state. No state will you say the schools had brand new buses too. No school had, will you say all the secondary schools had generator. No place, when we bought our computers, desktop, everything from HP, which is still there, as at the time, they said no government in Africa have bought this quantity from them. In fact, the vice president for Africa and Middle East came the day we launched it they will give it away to schools. So there's a lot of improvement. We put internet in all the secondary schools. So it can go on and on. A university, I built a university college campus in a place called Ibariam from the scratch, cutting the forest. I built a teaching hospital from the fastest teaching hospital ever built in Nigeria was built under my tenure in 2 years from the scratch. It's today in Oka. You can go there. These are things you can see. They're physical. They're not promised and everything. When I started, we didn't have a state library. I built one. It's there in Oka. You can go and see it. And I can go on and on in areas where in health was the same thing. We didn't have one single school of nursing, midwifery, or school of health technology that was accredited. Today, we have over a dozen. They were all supported, accredited while I'm there. So you can go and, these are things that are, I'm telling you the things that are verifiable. You can go and see it. So when somebody comes and says, oh, you didn't build a secondary school. Why do I have to build a secondary school when there's secondary school all over the place that we are in bad shape and represented, and I go and build a new one? That is the problem of Africa. That is the problem because there's corruption. Because people want to start their own. If you want, there's so many existing ones. Anambra is not a place where you go and say, oh, there's no secondary school. There are secondary schools all over the place. But they were in bad shape. Their structures, everything have collapsed. Things were not working. There's nothing. So I needed to rebuild them. And I rebuilt them. And if you go there, you see buildings that were all built. If you collect them together, I would have killed about hundreds of secondary schools. But I didn't need to. It's a state I know every community. I visited every community. I didn't say I visited every. I visited every single community in Anambra State as governor at least twice while I was there. So I know what every community needed, and I provided there. They have secondary schools, visited the secondary school, saw it, saw what they were there, and tried to do something. So I don't need to build a new one. Fantastic. Even at that, there's some new ones that were set up while I was there. And I supported it, and I can show, and I can say, we did this in education. And to prove it, we became number one. If you go to the secondary schools today, they still tell you, Mr. Obi did this, Mr. Obi did this. And Since I left over 10 years ago, it is still the same generator that I gave them that they have. It's still the same vehicle that I gave them. It's still the same. So, what else will I do?
Just imagine if this man, Mr. Peter Obi, was a criminal or he siphoned money when he was in office. Because these people have searched, they have looked for everything to indict him, to criticize him, to crucify him, but they did not see. So they started, parading their propaganda to deceive their gullible followers. So what I'm saying is this: I am happy that all these paid iPad men are now unleashing everything they have against Mr. Peter Obi, of which it doesn't hold water, it doesn't hold ground. Because comes 2027, nobody will come out to say Peter Obi does this, Peter Obi does that, because we know whom we are following. We know he's a man of integrity. Please kindly share this video, subscribe to this channel, and always come by for the updates. Thank you.